So where was that found again?
This
Sorry.
one was found at Chauvet Cave in France.
Oh,
I'm sure
right.
that's a terrible pronunciation. Quite recently. So it's a cave that's very important because it's been found so recently. It can tell us a great deal. Because some of the caves which were found much earlier have been damaged by lots of people walking through them. But this one has been kept shut, and only a very tiny number of specialists have been allowed to go in and photograph and record it.
What size would that be? With a whole wall and roof of a cave, or just?
Well, that's a good question. I can't really answer that in metres. I'd have to go away and check that, but it's a huge site. It goes sort of metres and metres and metres under the surface of the ground. I'd have to check the exact size. But I know it's.
Well, no, I mean it's.
Sort of crawl
Yeah.
through it and
It's a bit like some of the caves in this country where they still haven't reached the end yet because
Yeah.
air shaft.
Yeah.
They've still got to go beyond it.
Exactly. With this one, it's thought would have been a rock fall. It's thought. Cut off the original entrance to the cave that probably would have been used, and it was found by cavers delving down.
Kind of Stone Age Banksy, really, isn't it?
So anyway, so we talked a lot about the modern humans and the Neanderthals. But as you know, the Neanderthals did die out at the end of the day, about 25,000 years ago. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on a little bit, and I'm going to tell you about one last part of the Stone Age before I finish my talk this morning. And we mentioned the Ice Age earlier, and so the Ice Age, peak of the last Ice Age, about 20,000 years ago. After that, the ice sheets melted, and because of that, the sea levels rose. So Britain was cut off from Europe, and normally I'm having to explain that it wasn't earlier, but I remember today, so that's good. Britain was cut off from Europe by the English Channel, and it was a land of lakes and rivers. And many of the species in Britain at this time, and the way most people remember it, I think, is the period after the Ice Age, but before farming. Many of the tree and animal species in Britain would have been species that we would recognise today. So oak, hazel, willow, and things like deer and wild boar. And one of the objects that I wanted to show you is this one, which I'm sure you probably will recognise as an arrow. Yeah, exactly. And I think, we all think of the arrow as quite a simple object. Just a bit of stick, isn't it, with some feathers on the end and something stuck in the end of it. But I made this one myself, and I can say it's not as simple